Uh, Morning, everybody. All right, make sure you have a block or something nearby. It's going to be a lot of fun to play with today, of course. So this week, I want to remind you how lucky we are to be here. How when we step outside, we have the opportunity to be in awe of all the divine that's around us. Last night there was a full moon, or what looked like a full moon to me, and it was just amazing to think how far away we are from the moon, how we can see it so bright. It's just a beautiful thing. And the chances of us being here, being able to see it, are so small, so miraculous, that when you start to think about it, you yourself are some kind of divine creation, just like everybody else. And Carl Sagan said it the best way, and I wrote it down because it was so beautiful. And I just want to share it with you. So everyone sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. He said, being alive is profoundly beautiful and staggeringly unlikely, a sacred miracle of random chance. A sacred miracle of random chance. So with your eyes closed, your spine nice and long, the crown of your head reaching up toward the ceiling, toward the sky, toward the moon, I want you to take the tip of your chin and the tip of your nose and just kind of reach them back. And notice how that lengthens your spine. Make sure your chin is not dipped down. Yeah. And you might even want to lean back just a little bit, and you'll notice that you might have been leaning forward. Yeah, now you have a nice long spine. And with your heart so open, start coming to your breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale. As your breath is, so is your mind, right? So when you breathe calm, you can think calm. I want you to imagine that deep within you, your soul, there's this light, candle. And the candle is really bright, but you can't see it because it's obscured by the fact that we don't see things anymore, that we take things for granted, that we have stories in our head that obscure the beauty of situations. And I want you to see that candle in your mind's eye and continue to inhale and exhale. There is a mantra, Tat Sam Adi, Tat Sam Asi. I am that. Take 2 more breaths. I am that. And then slowly open your eyes. Take your shoulder blades down your back. Just kind of roll them down. Take your arms to T. Good. Now I want you to roll your thumbs forward and your palms down. Keep your shoulder blades hugged together and make sure you're not shrugging them up. So you release your shoulders down your back. There's a whole lot of space there. Yeah. And with the shoulder blades hugged together behind your heart, you're going to roll your thumbs down and behind you. And then roll your whole arms up so your palms are up like an offering, right? And then exhale all the way back. It's a big, full movement, but it might not look like something on at first, but it's a lot. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just find the full movement. Start warming up your shoulders. We are getting into our hips today. And we're going to sneak into the core muscles. Exhale. Inhale. Yeah. Take 2 more big, full ones. See if you can stay present. And maybe even be impressed with the fact that you have so much movement there. All the way to center. Good. Now extend your arms up over your head. Cross your right wrist in front of your left and flip your palms, interlacing your fingers. Lift your heart. Now you can extend your arms long, and if this is lousy on your shoulders, remember you take your arms forward, not your head forward, okay? And then you're going to twist to your right, taking your left ribs over to the right, and inhale back to center. It's very effortful. Exhale. Inhale. Can you keep an engagement in your belly as you breathe? Good. Inhale. So the muscular energy of your core is always engaged without forcing it so that you can breathe, because your belly's got to move to breathe, right? Let's take one more all the way to the right, and then release your hands, taking your left hand to your right knee and get a nice deep twist. Oh, yummy. Left ribs are rolling forward and your spine is still nice and long. You're not leaning backwards. Good. And then come back to center. Inhale, arms to T. Now you're going to take your palms up. Oh, yeah. And take your thumb back, arms back. And now you're going to roll them forward and up and forward and back. Oh, yeah. Big movement and up. So an upward facing palm is an offering, right? We're offering this moment to ourselves, to our awesome sacred place and within each one of us. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale all the way up. And extend your arms up over your head, taking your left wrist in front. Flip your palms, interlace your fingers, lift your heart, and then twist to your left. Roll your right ribs over and come back to center. And exhale to your left. And inhale back to center. And to your left. Good. And to center. 2 more times. Lovely. All right, last one. And release. Make sure your spine is long, just like at the beginning, and roll your right ribs to the left. The belly's engaged. Listen to that sweet rhythmic voice of your breath. And all the way back to center. Good. Now you're going to take your feet wide of your hips, and you're going to drop them first to the right and start waking things up, and then to the left. Your feet are wide, real wide. Yeah, you won't need a block yet. You will need your block soon. And when we come to triangle, you will for sure. Okay, to the right, to the left. Good. Now back to the right. And make sure your right shin is parallel as you twist your left ribs toward the right. Okay, your left ribs are twisted to the right. And you're going to take your hands to the floor in front of your shin. Yeah. And as you exhale, it feels kind of like a push-up in your upper body. You're going to exhale and lower, but you're inhaling up. So the purpose of this is really to get into your hip flexors. But if you really press your fingerprints and the root of your first finger down, you'll get into your arms too and your chest. Inhale. But my goal is really your hip flexors. Exhale and make you feel a nice stretch in your low back. One more time, exhale. Now inhale, come halfway up, and you can stay here with your hands on the floor, or you can extend your arms out and really engage your belly, but you can keep the right shin really grounded and deep into your hips. Big full breath here. Oh yeah. And then all the way up to center. And then come back to center. And drop your knees to the left. I'm just moving around so you can see me. And you're going to twist your right ribs to the left. So you know what to do. Take your hands in front of your left shin. And then just get into that hip flexor. Inhale up. You'll get a nice stretch in your low back. And if you really press your fingerprints down, you'll get a little extra in your pecs and in your biceps. Good. Take a few more just like that. Look at all the things we can do at once. You can keep your belly back. You can breathe. Right? Inhale. Now you're going to come halfway forward and either keep your hands on the floor or extend your arms out to T. keeping the left thigh bone down. And you'll see there's a difference from the two sides of your body. Can you breathe into it however you're at? Because the two sides of our body are really different. And then come all the way back to center. That was really good, guys. And make your way to table pose, hands and knees. Good. And into some cats and cows. Oh, yeah. So we're going to be here for a little bit. Undoing any tightness. Cats and cows. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then take some hip circles. Big circles one way and then the other. So we're going to be here for a while. So it sounds like it's easy, but it will not be, I promise. And then make your way to table. And I want you to come onto your forearms now so that your forearms are parallel, okay? Belly back, low ribs back. And extend your right leg behind you. And you're going to lift it up. You're going to lift it up, okay? So I want you to be sure you're not taking it in your low back. So if you take your right leg higher than your hip, you might feel it in your low back. That's not what it's for. It's for the right glute, okay? And then you're going to tap and lift. Exhale. Exhale, yeah. So this gets a little bit deeper into your glutes, but you can also take your shoulder blades together because you're on your forearms. So keep the engagement in your upper back. You're cooking up the right glute. Yay. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, squeeze, 2, lift it up, and all the way back down and back to table pose. Hands and knees. Now I want you to take your block under your left knee and left shin. Yeah, kind of fun. And you're going to extend your right leg back behind you in a table pose. A table pose of a spinal balance. But your left knee is not on terra firma. So you've got to really keep your belly engaged. Now you can stay right here, or you can extend your left arm forward, but you have to really lift the belly and gaze forward, finding your breath. You know, it reminds me when you see ducks or swans just floating along. They're working like hell under the water. That's what we're doing, right? So take another breath. Oh, yeah. And all the way back to center. Remove your block. We're going to use it again. And take your right foot out to the right. Now you're going to slide your foot towards you as you take your right foot away from you. You're going to just spin it away. Good. And then you're going to walk your hands back and circle your arms all the way up. Keep your right ribs forward and your right thigh bone back. That's going to keep an engagement. Good. Now you're just going to stay deep into your right hip. Now you can slide your right foot further away from you. It's going to be a little bit more. Everyone's hip is different, and the right hip, like I said, is different than the left, but keep your right ribs forward. Make it always a twofer, you know? Inhale. You know what twofers are, right? 2 for 1. Exhale. Good. Let's just take 2 more. Oh, yeah. And last one. And then take your hands to your hips, extending your right leg directly out to the right with your right toes forward. Lifting tall. Again, your right ribs are rolling forward. Lots of engagement. Circle your arms up. And then take your right hand down your right leg. Reach. And then come back through center. So now I'm lifting my right arm. You don't have to. But you want to really lengthen the whole left side of your body. You want to do that every day. At least 3 times a week anyway. Because gravity settles our spine. And our muscular effort will lift it. Right. Let's take 2 more. Good. I have so much to do today. So I'm going to go right And all the way to center. And then carefully tip from the top of your pelvis, taking your hands back to the floor. Step your right foot forward of your right hand. Flex your right ankle, taking your right outer hip back. Make sure your ankle's not sideways. You see how my ankle's sideways, guys? I want you to reach to the ball of your big toe so that there's no sickled ankle. It's nice and flat, right? Right outer hip back, reach it back, feel it all along your leg. Then step into your right foot and take your right shin forward. Oh, yum. You might feel some snap, crackle, pop. That's what we're going for. Inhale and exhale and be here now. Just feel your foot against the earth. And then your right outer hip back, the stretch at the back of your right leg, a nice stretch in your low back. Exhale. Inhale. You can see how this makes us better people because we feel better after this. Inhale. Oh yeah. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now step into your right foot. You're gonna have to move your right foot back because I want your right shin perpendicular to the earth. Take your hands either to your blocks or to the floor and make your way into a lunge, lifting the back left knee up. You should be able to know what you're doing just by what I'm telling you. You shouldn't have to watch me. Now you can take your left hand to the floor and open up, taking your left ribs over to the right. Shoulder blades hug together. Make sure you're not shrugging your shoulders. Now lean back more, more. Big breath. Oh yeah. Exhale your right hand back to the floor. Come through your lunge. Stay on the tiptoes of your back left foot. And then walk your hands back either with or without your blocks. Blocks are really great here. And you're going to flex your front right ankle just like we did before, but this time remember you're on the tiptoes of your left foot, lifting the belly. My hands are on your pelvis and I'm lifting your pelvis up to the ceiling. And then exhale, step into your right foot and come into your lunge. Inhale, come back, really feel the tiptoes of the back, the heel of the front. And exhale. Then inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Oh yeah. And exhale. Your hips are going to feel new when I'm done here. Inhale. Then step into your right foot. Shorten and widen your stance. Press your feet down and lift the core. You can walk your hands up your front right leg and come all the way to standing, keeping your right outer hip back. Take your hands behind your back with your heart. Now, keeping the right hip back, I want you to come halfway forward. I want you to feel the alignment. So your belly's lifted, your knees have a softness in them, your shoulder blades are hugged together, and now you exhale with a sense of wonder as you come into that flexor, the right flexor, just folding the top of the pelvis, your chest towards your thigh bones. And you take a big full breath here, big stretch. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Step into your right foot and lift your left leg all the way up. Now, you're going to bend both your knees and we're going to come to a little curtsy, just a little one. So you're going to take your left knee outside your right shin. Both knees are bent. And then inhale all the way up. A sense of wonder, wow. Exhale, come into that fold a bit. And then inhale up. 2 more times. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Oh yeah. And step your left foot beside your right. Forward fold. You can shake your bum a little bit. Just make sure everything's kind of shook out. Press your feet into the earth to circle your arms all the way up. Inhale. Grab your left wrist and lift. Exhale to your right. Inhale back to center. Grab your right wrist and lift. Exhale to your left. Wow. and back to center and release. Now you're going to widen your stance. I got a new toy and I love this toy. Your feet are a little bit wider, your toes are out, and you're going to come into a bit of a goddess. We're already goddesses, but you're going to keep your right thigh bones reaching out. Good. And you're going to take your elbows so that your elbows want to meet behind you. You feel that scapula hugging. Good. Then as you inhale, you can extend your arms out and wide. Now exhale back down. And now you're going to come onto your tiptoes. Yeah. And then inhale up and wide. Exhale, tiptoes, lower your hips. And then come all the way up, heels back. Now when you come onto your tiptoes, you can release your hips a little lower to the floor, a little lower to the earth, and then open. You're also releasing your thigh bones to the back of the hip, which is where we want them to be. Inhale. Let's take two more just like that. Exhale. Inhale. Two more. Tiptoes. Inhale. Then exhale, elbows back, come onto your tiptoes and find a little depth, a little pulse of your elbows behind you. You're on your tiptoes, there's a little balance. 3, 2, 1, and release. Walk your hands, your feet back together and take some hip circles here. Yeah. Yeah, and then the other way. Come back to your breath. Now keep your feet hip width apart, palms up in front of you, shoulder blades down. As you inhale, you're going to lift energy up. You're going to feel it in your arms. Then as you exhale, you're going to flip your palms down and press down into the earth. And you're going to take your hips back. Inhale up. Exhale, press. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, press. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, press. Good. Inhale up. Now circle your arms all the way up. Good. And fold forward. Lovely. Notice if your right heel, your right hip, your right side feels different than the left, and mine does. Just notice that. Inhale, look halfway up, which reminds us how much power we have. And then step back to plank. Your knees can be up or down, but your hips are lower than your shoulders regardless. So I want to work on our core just for a second. So I want you to press your knees down. Press them down like you're trying to make an indentation into the earth, and you're going to feel your belly draw back. Then you're going to roll your thigh bones toward the floor and shoulder blades down your back. So if you walk your hands back a little bit, you won't have shrugged shoulders. Now press your knees down, lift your hips and your core, and look at your belly. And exhale. Inhale all the way back into a variation of a cobra, and exhale all the way back. So notice how you get deep into your core here. Inhale. Exhale, press down. Inhale. I'm going to just take two more just like that. Exhale. Inhale. Oh yeah. Last one for the core. Exhale, belly back. Now inhale, make your way all the way into your cobra. Oh yeah. So now your toenails are on the floor and into a down dog. Let's just clear it all out in dog. And walk your dog. Yeah, again, the right side is going to feel a lot looser than the left. So I want you to notice, because that's the power. That's what we're doing here every time we come to our mats. Good. Everything we do in life tightens us up, and yoga just reminds us to loosen up, right? And then make your way back to table pose, hands and knees. Have your block nearby. Take your forearms to the floor and extend your left leg back behind you. And you're going to lift and lower. Make sure you're staying in the left glute and not lifting so high that you're taking it in the low back, right? Lift and lower. Squeeze. Good. Squeeze. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, really slow. 4, there's a tendency to want to really hurry it up, but that's not going to do us any good. 3, 2, good, squeeze it, and back to table pose. Now you're going to take your block under your right knee and shin until you feel pretty stable, but you're not totally because you're not on the earth. And extend your left leg back. You have to really engage your belly here. And if you're ready, you can extend your right arm. Now your right toes you can take to the floor or you can lift them. Let's see if you can find some breath here. Yeah, and think about how that swan, that duck moves. Glides along the water, but below the earth water surface, like I said, they're really paddling like hell. So just that beneath our surface, we're really working it. And release, good. Keep your block nearby. And extend your left leg out to the left, pivoting your left toes away from you and then stepping into your left foot. Then walk your hands back, left ribs forward. Got it, guys? You can circle your arms up or you can keep your, it depends on your shoulders. And you're going to come into your left hip and come back to center. Now, if you want to walk your foot a little further back, away from you or closer, that's all good. Keep the left ribs rolling forward so you get into those obliques also while you're at it. Yeah. And breathe. Exhale. Ooh, yummy. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 3, 2. Ooh. Find that edge. 1. Good. And back to center. Take your hands to your hips and extend your left leg so that your left toes are forward. Yeah. Shoulder blades down your back. None of this. And take your arms up. Inhale. Now you're going to take your left arm down your left leg and really reach it over. And inhale back through center. And exhale. So you don't have to use your arms like this. If it's too much, you can keep your arms at your hips. Yeah, that works also. It all works. As long as you're focusing your mind on the right side of your body, getting it nice and open. And of course, you're strengthening the left. 3, 2. Yum. Last one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And back to center. And then you're going to tip forward without rounding your back, using your core and taking your hands to the floor. And you're going to step your left foot just forward of your left hand. And then you're going to flex your left ankle and take the left outer hip back. Really reach it back so you feel a nice stretch from the hamstrings all the way into the shins and the left ball of your left big toes forward, no sickled ankle, right? That's the inhale. Then as you exhale, step into it and really reach forward. And then inhale back. And exhale forward. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Then come back to center, stepping your left foot to the mat, taking your right hand in line with your right shoulder. I want you to make your way into a lunge. Feel free to use your blocks here under your hands. Blocks are excellent here. And then you're going to open your left arm up, coming into a lovely twist. Lean back. Remember, your right ribs roll to the left. Your shoulder blades are down your back, and you lean back. And you find that edge and that open-hearted light. Imagine there's a light coming out of your heart. It's there. And you're going to breathe into it. Good. Exhale your left hand to the floor. And now you're going to step your hands back, right? And you're going to flex your front left ankle and stay on the tiptoes of your back right foot. So let's everyone get together here. Take your hands to your blocks here if that feels better. If you feel you're rounding your back too much. Inhale, my hands are lifting your hips, your belly's back. Now you're going to step into your left foot and come into a lunge. And then inhale back. And exhale forward. And inhale back. And exhale forward. And inhale back. Oh yeah, and forward. Lovely. Take this last one. And then step into your left foot, stepping your right foot slightly forward and wide. Press your feet down and circle your arms all the way up. Keep your left hip back. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, lift your heart. And now you're going to dip forward. Stay halfway first. Check in with your knees. Make sure they're soft. Your belly's back. Your shoulders are down your back. And then you can continue your descent, getting a nice stretch in your low back all the way down the back of your left leg. Good. Full breath here. Exhale, release your hands to your blocks or to the floor. Stepping into your left foot, you can lift your right leg all the way up. Then you're going to bend both your knees and take your right knee outside your left shin. And inhale all the way up. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Good. Take a few more. And inhale. Two more just like that. And inhale. Last one. And inhale. And step your right foot beside your left. Again, forward fold. Nice length in your legs. Press your feet down. Circle your arms all the way up. And bring your palms together to your heart center. And release. Soften your knees. And roll your hips. Now, I'm going to invite you to come onto your tiptoes as you roll your hips. You might have to have your arms out for a little balance. And just get everything nice and loose in our hips. Yeah. Core is always drawn back. And then the other way, maybe with a hint of a smile. Yeah, and back to center. All right, now I want to do a standing series because we're going to do a bunch of stuff on our bum. So into Utkatasana, shins forward, bum back. Circle your arms up. Get lots of depth here. This is a pose I like to get you guys into and then start telling you a story because it's lousy, right? Yeah, I know. Bring your palms together, twist to your right. Keep your left outer hip back and open it up however you choose, right? Yeah. Inhale back to center. And exhale the other way. Keep your right outer hip back and open it up. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Oh my God, feels so much better. And step all the way back to plank. Good. Now come all the way onto your belly and grab your block or your book or whatever you have. You're going to take the block in front of you with your palms against the outer edges and squeeze the block in front of you. Just squeeze it. And notice how you draw your shoulder blades back. You can even lift your chest. So you're going to press your pubic bone to the floor. Good. Now, as you inhale, you're going to take your block in your right hand, take it behind you, lift your chest, and you're going to grab it in your left hand too, and lift your chest. And then bring it forward once again. And back, right hand with the block behind you, and bring it forward, reaching your arms forward. Inhale. Oh yeah, press it. Exhale. Inhale. Now you're going to change directions. Take the block in your right hand forward, and then your left hand is going to deliver it behind you as you lift. Exhale. Inhale. Press your pelvis to the earth. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Lift up. And release the block. We're going to be using it again. But I want you to make your way to the table and into a child pose. So you're going to widen your knees wide. Take your big toes together, your hips back, and just regroup. Listen to your breath. That rhythm of the inhale and the exhale. Calm and sweet. Good. And the image of that candle within you, that light. Good. Then make your way to the table. Just set yourself up and right into a down dog. Oh, yeah. Notice how nice and warm your shoulders are. And aligned too. Okay. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step your right foot forward, preparing for warrior one, which means you're going to take your back foot to the earth, press your feet down, and circle your arms all the way up, really deep. Good. Open your outer arms, really open them up, extending long. Now I want you to tip halfway forward, just tip from the top of the pelvis, and then inhale up. So you can get a little bit lower in your hips because we went on our tiptoes standing, right? So you can release the thigh bone a little closer to the earth. Good. The last one. Good. Inhale all the way back up and right into warrior two. Good. Keeping your left toes forward, your left thigh bone back. Come deep. Come deep. Take your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your heart. Soft elbows as you tip forward, but come halfway forward first. And I want you to roll your inner thigh bones back and hips back. And then you can tip maybe a little deeper into your hips. And take a few breaths here. Inhale all the way back up to center. Take your right forearm to your right thigh to use the resistance to lift the right waist up and extend your left arm, rolling the right ribs forward. Stay low in your hips. Yeah. Now take your bum back and start to straighten both legs long. Right into that triangle. Ooh, yeah. And then inhale up. All the way up to reverse it. I really love this. Exhale all the way back. So you have to take the entire length of the breath to really experience the entire thing. And it doesn't matter how far over your hands go, right? You don't have to touch anything in particular. You just have to find your edge. One more. Good. Last one. All right, come to triangle, take your left hand to the floor and step your left foot forward beside your right, forward fold. I like to shake it out and circle your arms all the way up. Back to Utkatasana. Yeah. And now you're going to twist to your right. You might stay upright. You know what your twist looks like. You find your edgy twist, right? Inhale back to center. And change sides. And open it up. Oh yeah, I'm still getting stuff out. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step back to plank. I'm always concerned about getting properly into an up dog or a cobra because our hands are generally too far forward, and that is not good for your shoulders. So you can come into your own, or you can lower your knees, and that's going to take your belly back, take your bum back, walk your hands back about 3 inches, and then slide the front of your heart, that light of the candle, that sacred space towards the earth, and then you're going to slide your chest forward, pressing your pelvis to the floor, and come into a cobra or an up dog that's beautifully aligned. That's what I like. Yeah. And right into down dog. Yeah, lovely. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you, left leg. Exhale, step your left foot forward, preparing for warrior one. Stay low in your hips as you circle your arms all the way up. Then you're going to tip slightly forward. Exhale. Inhale up, stay low, stay low. Exhale, you might go lower than you thought. You might need to readjust the width of your feet, the length of your feet. Take one more. No, take two more, I'm sorry. Now take one more. Good. Ah, I love this. And right into warrior two. Make sure you're adjusted. Your shoulders are nice and warm. Take your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, dip forward. Keeping the inner thigh bones reaching back. Inhale all the way back up to center. Exhale, your left forearm to your left thigh, lifting the left waist. Stay low in your hips. And just find your way, whatever feels right, right? Now, take your right hand to your right hip. Take your bum back. And then lengthen both your legs long as if you're growing from the center of the pelvis deep into the earth. Roll your left ribs forward so they're already lifted. And now you're going to lift the left waist to the right to reverse it. And then you're going to exhale back. And inhale up. Oh yeah. Exhale. And inhale. Do two more. Moving with the breath. The entire breath. Last one. Good. Then take your right hand to the floor. Step your right foot forward and wide of your left. And make your way into your variation of yoga squat, whatever that looks like. So you might have your forearms on your thighs. And you might have your arms inside. It's all good, right? Take a few breaths. Yeah. Now we're going to get into our hips. Yeah. And come to seated. Good. Now you're going to take your block. And I want you to have your block nearby. But first we're going to come into Baddha Konasana. Bound angle. You're going to take the soles of your feet together. Press the pinky side edges down and isometrically draw them back so you feel a connection in your hips. Keep that hugging in and then lengthen your thigh bones long. And maybe you'll find a little tip to the pelvis forward. Maybe. Just notice. And take a few breaths. This should feel pretty yummy. Good. And then come all the way up. Now you're going to take your block or your book, whatever you got, and you're going to put it in between your feet. So you can do the narrow width, you can do the skinniest width, or you can do the widest width. Everyone's hips are different. That's how you can decide. Right? Okay, now squeeze it with the soles of your feet, and you're going to get that connection in your hips again. Lift up tall, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Find a little forward movement. You're not going to find much. You're not going to find much. Just an intention, right? Squeeze into it. You're going to wake up the adductors and the pelvic floor. Yes. Take a few breaths here. Yeah. And then all the way back up. Now, you're going to take your feet on top of the block. So now you're going to want the block wide. Good. Same idea. Pinky side edge of your feet down. Sit up tall. Hug the thigh bones to the back of your hip. Find that hugging in, and then lengthen the thigh bones longer, and they'll come deeper towards the earth. It's all about the journey. There's no destination here, just like in our life. You know, just we want to be on that journey. Lift up tall, see what's in front of you. See it again for the first time, right? And now tip forward, and you're not going to tip much because I don't want you rounding your back, okay? I want you just to feel it in the hip flexors, the pelvic floor. Yeah, you can even get into the adductors if you're hugging them in. Take a big breath.
And all the way back up. Okay, we're not shaking it out yet. You're just gonna remove your block for the moment, just for the moment. And we're gonna come back to the original Baddha Konasana. Oh my goodness, and notice if it's, oh my goodness, bigger. You guys feel that? If you do feel it, give me a thumbs up. All right, yeah. Now we got our hips nice and juiced up. That's what I'm talking about. Now you can dip forward. You can even round your back at this point and give a nice stretch in your low back, because we're just making it a little bit more interesting after this. Take a breath. And then all the way up. Now take your hands under your knees, lift them up, and give yourself a hug. Good. And shake it out. Okay. Now we're going to come into triangle Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana with nice juicy hips. And you're going to wonder what I just said. I just like saying it. So, you know. So now you're going to bend your right knee. Option 1 is to bend your right knee, and you're going to roll your shin muscle away from you. I want you to do that. Grab your shin muscle and roll it away. Then you can tuck your heel, the toenails down, just outside your hip. So you're not sitting on your heel. It's outside your hip. You're going to be tipping to the left. And if it's really tippy, take your block under your left sit bone, and then no more tip. Yeah. It's awesome. Option 2. If it is not good for your hips or knees, option 2 is to take your right foot in front of you. And if you do, you probably won't need the block, and that's an advantage. So you decide what works for you, okay? So however you choose to do it, your knees are pretty close together. Your hip points are square. I'm going to use my block too. And remember how juicy your hips are. Sit up tall. Keep your sit bones grounded. Imagine there's a weight on your tailbone and it's reaching you toward the center of the earth. But then you're lifting from the center of the pelvis up. Inhale, circle your arms up. Oh my God, Allison just gained an inch, I just thought. Good. And now you're going to tip the top of your pelvis forward and release wherever your hands go. It doesn't matter where they go. Take your hands to your knees, your thighs, your shin. Good. So remember, your foot can be outside your hip, or you can bend your knee inside. Those are your choices. Or you can do whatever you like. Yeah. That's it. That's perfect. That's my girl. Yes. And just find a nice stretch here. Good. Press your thigh bones toward the earth to come all the way up. Now you're going to bend your front left knee. Doesn't matter where your right foot is. And you can take it towards your chest. Option 1, stand your tiptoes. Option 2 is to take your left hand outside your left foot and lift it up. So if you're seated on the block, that might make it a little bit more accessible. Or if your right knee is in front of you, your shin's in front of you, this is called triangle. This is heron pose, I believe. And find a nice stretch here. Press your heel down toward the earth as you imagine your hand is lifting your foot up. And you'll get a little bit more on the hammies. Good. Now you're going to bend your left knee. And you can take your left foot on top of the right. Now, if you're on a block, it might be a little bit difficult with balancing. So you might want to consider undoing the block. It doesn't matter. You're going to take your left foot somewhere near your right thigh. You can hold on to it and twist to your left. So you're going to roll your right ribs to the left. So we have been twisting. We have been opening our hips. We are more ready than you know, and you're not going to allow your fear to stop you. You're going to let your open-hearted curiosity, just with awe, just know where you got to go. And you find your edge. And you breathe into it. And all the way back to center, release. And you're going to shake it all out. Yeah. You know, we're pretty awesome, guys. So now we're going to do the left side. Remember, option 1 is to take your left sole up to your right thigh. That is great. Option 2 is to take your left heel outside your left hip. You're not sitting on your left heel. And you're going to roll your left thigh muscle out wide away from you. That gives you more space. And if you feel tippy, you know where to put your block? Under your right sit bone. Now look at that. Now you're really tall. Yeah. Make sure your heel's outside your hip. I want you to be able to see my heel. See my heel. Good. Inhale, circle your arms up. Press the sit bones down. Your sit bones are made of lead. Ooh, they're heavy. And you're lifting your heart. And then you tip forward, taking all that length that we established in your body. You get a nice stretch just about everywhere. Take 3 big full breaths here. Good. And press down to come all the way up. Yeah. Now you can keep your block under your hip or not. Bend your right knee, take your right knee towards your chest. You can hold on to it. This is great, wherever you're at. You can take your right hand outside to the outside of the right edge of your outer edge of your right foot and extend, lift. Or if you want to try taking your block out, there's no advantage to it actually, except maybe for our egos. Yeah. Now I want you to press your heel down toward the earth as your hand lifts your foot up. And you'll see you might get a little bit more lift and you'll get more stretch. Look just within you, it's all there. Yeah. Then bend your right knee and even take your right hip slightly, your right knee back. And then you're going to lay your right foot on top of the left thigh or close to it, or inside it. And you're going to twist to your right, rolling from the left waist. And take your hands to the floor and just get a nice deep twist here. Big breath here. Oh, yeah. And can you be amazed at however you're doing this, how awesome you are. But we don't see it anymore. Back to center. And release. And shake it out. I remember when I was at college, university, I remember thinking, it's no big deal to be here. Everybody's here. That's because I was there too. Everybody was there. You take it for granted. You don't see it anymore. All right, great work, guys. Draw your knees to your chest, round your back. Oh, yeah. And come all the way to lying on your back. You don't need your blocks anymore. Yay! And then draw your knees to your chest. Just take some circles with your knees away from one another. Yeah, you don't really need to do much more here. That's a good thing. Yeah. And now take your knees so that they're above your hips and your shins so that they're parallel to the earth. I want you to press your thigh bones away from you with your hands, but the thigh bones are going to resist back and you're going to get into your core. Take the top of the pelvis back. Make sure you feel a nice engagement of the core even before you start. Take a few breaths here. Just getting that back of your pelvis reconnected in case it was disconnected. Good. And take your arms to T. Drop your knees to the right. You get a nice stretch here. Close your eyes and take a few big full breaths here. Good. Then back to center. Drop your knees to the left. Keep your right hip reaching away from you. And take a full few breaths here. Feeling how your nervous system is calm when you deepen your breath. And in your mind's eye, see the candle that's lit deep within you, that soul, that bright light that you forget is there. And remember, the chances of that light being there are minuscule grace has allowed us to be here. And then make your way back to center. Take your feet to the floor. Take your arms beside you, walking your shoulder blades together. Lift your hips, draw them away from you. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, make your way right into a lovely Shavasana, a nice Shavasana. And let's just take a few minutes to rest. Start rolling your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, extend your arms up over your head. Exhale through your mouth. Draw your knees to your chest. Roll to your right side. Be there for a moment. Oh yeah, then make your way to a seat on your mat. Bring your palms together to your heart center. This mudra of gratitude, of delight, and if we choose, awe at the chances of being here, knowing we're here for a reason, for to live our path. The light in me honors that light in you. Namaste. Mwah. Let me undo stop the recording.